We need to talk about Project 2025.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, no, other than day one.
Created by Trump's longtime allies at the Heritage Foundation, along with more than 100 other conservative groups, a 920-page document outlines conservatives' plan to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left. It means that if Trump is elected, the GOP would attempt to implement overreaching bills like the ones popping up in Florida, Texas, Alabama, and other red states federally. The document says the GOP will reach its goals by using presidential power to bypass Congress and by destroying what they call the administrative state, which refers to the agencies that try to ensure clean and safe air, food, water, drugs, and consumer products, and that also hold big corporations back from making more money. So that's what Trump means by day one. He plans to fire and replace tens of thousands of government employees who don't agree with him to elevate his power. And yes, he can do that.
First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively.
All right, let's dive into this document. When I searched the term sex, 133 matches came up. That's obsessive. It explicitly states their goal to rescind regulations prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, transgender status, and sex characteristics. So queer people could legally be fired, not hired, refused service, or otherwise discriminated against. It also proposes deleting the term sexual orientation, DEI, gender, gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitive, abortion, reproductive health, and reproductive rights from every piece of legislation that exists. That's terrifying because it promotes discrimination against LGBTQIA+ and pregnant people. And speaking of pregnant people, it also proposes pushing as hard as possible to protect the unborn in every jurisdiction in America, aka a national abortion ban. They plan to go after education too, just like they have in red states. The authors propose eliminating the entire Department of Education, which they say injects racist, anti-American, ahistorical propaganda into America's classrooms. As part of its economic policy, it wants to eliminate regulatory and procedural barriers for companies and prop up the oil industry, which it says is not an environmental problem. This is all just the tip of the iceberg. It's a document filled with endless contradictions, going back and forth between ideas of big government and small, going after monopolies but reducing corporate taxes and regulation, saying they're for freedom but policing people's bodies, gender, and sexuality. And it's a document created by the Heritage Foundation, which has ties to fossil fuel billionaire Charles Koch and is swirling with controversies. Throughout, they dehumanize the left in ways that make me afraid of how much more emboldened far-right Republicans will feel to target vulnerable people.